What's going on, YouTube? I'm here to make this second video real quick about this Facebook situation, Meta situation we got going on here. Um, they're basically going to backtrack on their free speech policy slash read the headline there. You'll get the idea. The media's freaking out. I don't know that they're necessarily wrong with this. Meta eliminates fact checking in latest bow to Trump. Um, like I said, I think they're partially right. I don't trust this dude as far as I could throw him. Zuckerberg, I think, is, I don't know. He's sketchy, kind of evil hippie, weird nerd kind of guy. We're gonna break down the video real quick of him kind of announcing this change they're making. Uh, the censorship that has taken place in the last 5 years now, basically since COVID, has been insane. Facebook played a huge part in that. If you've been paying any attention, you've seen it. But mainstream media is kind of freaking out about it because, I mean, obviously they lost Twitter. Elon bought Twitter. So they lost that one. Facebook, I mean, I don't know if Facebook still is the biggest, but I think Facebook is the biggest. Oh, besides TikTok, I guess. Different, different kinds of platforms though, but I think Facebook is the biggest social media platform still. Definitely for older people though. I don't think very many people like sub 30 use Facebook all that much. I use it for a marketplace. That's it. And I would assume you do a similar thing, but it's a blow to the establishment, I would say. I hate to use the term like woke. I think it sounds fucking stupid and cringy, but this stuff where we're seeing a bunch of these I don't know, companies, businesses. I know Apple just kind of is trying to cozy up to Trump right now, and now Zuckerberg, and it's like they're fucking big companies, billionaires. They make a lot of money. They're obviously going to try to cozy up to power and make it as best for them for the next 4 years as possible. I don't think it's because they agree with his political philosophy or what he thinks culturally about the United States or anything like that. And that's why I don't trust any of this shit, to be honest. I think it's all crap. But like I said, let's jump in this video real quick. See how much bright screen. This is Zuckerberg. I guess he posted this on Facebook about getting back to their roots, and that's what I mean. This guy is just full of shit. I mean, you listen to it. Tell me what you think.
Hey everyone. I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown.
I forgot they own Instagram and I guess Threads too, but I deleted Instagram a while back. I mean, year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe something like that. Because what's it for? You don't even see pictures of people you know anymore. It's not like to keep up with friends or family or anything like that. It's just TikTok 2.0, Facebook TikTok. Same with regular Facebook. Is just whatever they call it. What do they call it? Reels. Is that what Instagram is? Reels. It's unavoidable. It's just short form video content like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, whatever. Just bring Vine back. Somebody fucking bring Vine back. Elon, get on that.
5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of
This is where my problem started with this because I was listening to it earlier. Okay. Governments and legacy media, buddy. Facebook was in on this shit since day one. What he gets into it later, I think, and he like if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast for some reason with him on it, I think he tries to explain that the FBI and the government in general, like the White House, Biden's White House was getting a hold of him to have them censor the Hunter Biden laptop story and things like that. Like, yes, that's the government, but you still did it. And you could argue, which I can't disagree with, that they would have came down on his ass about it if he didn't just comply. But he still did it. So, I don't know. Take it with a big grain of salt because, I don't know. How strong are your convictions if you just kind of roll over like that? I mean, you're a multi-billionaire. They can't really hurt you personally. What are they going to do? Take Facebook down? They can't even take TikTok down. It's owned by the fucking Chinese. People would riot if they take TikTok down. You think the geezers won't fucking flip if they try to take Facebook down?
This is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. drugs, terrorism, child exploitation.
He has a point
These are
on
things that we
that,
take
at
very
least.
seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship.
I don't disagree with him here, but like when it comes to political things, let it fly. Obviously, if you're talking sexual abuse, kids, any of that kind of stuff, yeah, if you have anything that's take more people down than needed for stuff like that, but if, like if there's like crazy violence or something on there, take it off. But like if we're talking political opinions, the option is let people say crazy shit so that other people don't get censored or censor like a bigger chunk of them. You just got to let the crazy shit be said. If it's just speech, if we're just talking speech, not calls to violence and all these kind of things, I say let it fly completely. I don't know. I think people are saying like X is worse off now that Elon's taking it over and it's getting kind of wild. And yeah, there's some crazy motherfuckers getting like racist as all hell on there. But whatever. I mean, I think that's like show your true colors, go ahead. If you want to talk like that, you want to talk crazy, it's pretty obvious for a normal person to be like, "Holy shit, this person's out of their fucking mind." So, I think yeah, too much censorship. They took part in it during COVID, so I don't know what he's really talking about though.
The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech.
That's the key. That I mean, it's kind of wild that he says it out loud. He says it out loud like that. Yes, it's the tipping point. Well, now Biden isn't the one in charge, so he's trying to cozy up to Trump. A tipping point. I mean, if you believed in free speech, you believe in free speech. It's not when the president changes, now we're back on free speech. That's not how that's supposed to work. Like, I, that's what I mean. I think he's full of shit. Like, it's just what it is. I don't trust him at all.
So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and
Still
restoring
positive though,
free
I guess.
expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US.
Similar to X. He's just gonna copy X's whole flow. Honestly, I love community notes. Pretty good, and it's funny a lot of times, honestly, too, because people will upvote a funny one that's like I don't know. I'd have to pull up an example, but if it's funny and also true, that's gonna be the one you see. And I don't know. It's good. It's good stuff. They'll just have somebody, especially when politicians do it, because they'll say something and immediately get community noted, and you're like, okay, they're just blatantly lying. Got it. And the community notes normally have links to sources and all these kinds of things. Like, it's a good system. And the fact checkers that they had running this during last election cycle and the whole COVID debacle, yeah, fact checkers, very biased fact checkers, I would say. I don't think it's very hard to skew the way somebody would look at something with a fact check when they just like I don't know. I feel like when Trump would say something like, yes, he lies all the time, but like even if he wasn't really lying or he just misspoke, they would be like, oh, it's a lie because here's this little nitpicky thing we found. And then Biden would completely lie, whether it was on purpose or he just can't speak. And they would do everything in their power to like cover it up and be like, oh, well, this is what he meant. And this is what he actually meant to say. And he's not technically, it's like anybody with a brain can see what you're doing here, man. And I think that's what he said. Like it's a tipping point, and I think the tipping point is because people are starting to wake up to this, not necessarily the censorship, but like the obvious, blatant lying. Like it comes from both sides all the time. Don't get me wrong, but this past 4 or 5 years, COVID definitely did it for a lot of people. But there was some absolute craziness going on.
After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming
Good
the
faith, huh?
arbiters of truth.
Good faith.
But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and
Yes.
have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse.
I don't know what he means by get rid of these. Like Get rid of these topics. Get rid of a bunch of
restrictions on
restrictions
topics like
on
immigration.
topics. Okay, so they're gonna let people talk about it, which is wild that you just come out and say we didn't let people talk about immigration. I mean, gender, I really don't give a fuck. I mean, that different video, honestly, but I think that one's pretty open and shut case in my mind. But immigration is like the hot was one of the hot button issues over this entire election, and he's just like, yeah, yeah, we were definitely demoting that content if you're talking about it.
And gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been.
Also, don't know what's up with these baggy fucking shirts he's been wearing. I don't know if you noticed he turned into like a. He's trying to like. I don't know how old Zuckerberg is, but he's definitely older than me. He's probably 30 something, but I feel like he dresses like a fucking Gen Z high schooler.
Used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas.
I like baggy shit too, but I don't know. It looks
So
goofy.
I want to make sure that people can
I don't know.
share
Don't
their
tell my
beliefs
son
and
he's been doing
experiences on our
jujitsu. He might
platforms.
come beat my ass.
Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations.
That's always how it should have
For
been,
lower
honestly.
severity violations,
Why not?
We're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action.
Guess you can still get mass
The
reported, though.
problem is that the filters make mistakes.
Is what it
They
is.
take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth,
That is one of the only fair points that I'll give him. Like, obviously, if they tone back their content moderation system and more crazier shit flies through, it's the cost of doing business type thing. You know what I mean? Like, I personally would rather have that. Do you want that for your kids that are on, if they're on Facebook or something? Probably not. You don't. I mean, that's not a good thing. Depends who you are. I mean, my mind, I think it'd be just leave a really obvious setting of like, here's the old moderation that's very strict, and here's the new one. You can flip a switch. You can turn it which way, however you want it on or off or whatever. That seems like the simple solution, but I doubt they'll do that. But I mean, he's not wrong. More stuff's gonna get through. Crazier. I mean, it might get a little wild on Facebook for a little while they try to dial this stuff in, but I might try to use Facebook for a little bit just to see how it goes once they start rolling it out.
Bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped.
I mean, I'm sure I can believe it that people were like, the Facebook politics are stressing me out. I mean, you know, like, fuck. If you're watching shit on Facebook and getting stressed out, you gotta change something, dude. Get your ass to the gym. Go for a run. I don't know. Take your mind off of it.
Stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again.
This has always been the feedback,
so we're going to start
depending on
phasing
which
this
side,
back into Facebook,
political side you're
Instagram,
on.
and Threads, while working to keep the communities friendly and
You can just leave Threads off. Nobody's fucking using that shit.
positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams.
Fair enough, but I mean, you just gonna have the people from California move to fucking Texas because nothing's gonna change if that happens. If you're gonna move it and rehire everybody, and then like, what are you gonna do? Check people's political affiliations while you fucking hire them? I mean, I don't know. This is how I heard about this originally. Was this thing where they're like, "Oh, we're moving it to Texas." What do you fucking do? It doesn't matter if you move the building to Texas. It depends who works there, buddy. So we'll have to see how that goes, but whatever.
Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments
you are.
around the world
You're not gonna work
going
against
after
them.
American companies and pushing to censor more. The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world.
Hell yeah, baby.
Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back
Is
on this
anybody
global
surprised
trend
about that?
is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult.
You had the support, just in the other way. For the last 4 years have been support of censorship. Now you have, supposedly, we don't know. We'll see how this actually ends up playing out. Now you have support of freedom of speech from the government. So it's like this is what I think. They just go with the flow. I mean, you let me know if that's what you think is happening here or not, but that's what it seems like.
Difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship.
Yes.
By going
exactly.
after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect.
Has he blinked this whole video? I just noticed this.
That we still need to work very
Oh,
hard to
okay, never mind. I was like, holy
But
shit.
the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focus primarily on removing content, it is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots about giving people voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon.
I don't know. In my mind, that's positive, but we'll believe it when we see it type thing. I feel like he's trying to drop all culpability for the censorship that they personally did. I mean, yes, the government was pushing on you, but you still did it. You don't get to just be like, well, they did it. And it's like, okay, no, but you still made it happen. You executed on that. So I don't know. You don't just get a skirt out of it in my mind that easily, but hey, we'll see what happens. Hopefully Zuckerberg's turned a new leaf and we're on to, on to better things. But we'll see. I don't know. If you got something out of the video, like it. If you didn't, dislike it. Tell me why. And subscribe if you're still here, please. Come back. Catch you tomorrow.